Hello people, we are back at Teamsport Acton for a whole race and qualifying session. This session was absolutely bizarre, so if you want to see more content like this, drop a like, subscribe. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. So in this session we had a 15-minute qualifying which determined my grid spot. So in front of me is one of the fastest drivers, and he's pretty quick to be honest, so I struggled to keep up. But in this video my car was absolutely wonderful. It had so much grip, and at the start I accidentally bumped him because it was red lights. So as it goes to yellow, it goes to green straight away. So I was just trying to see how fast this car was, so I didn't overtake him for a few laps because I was just going to see his pace because I've never drove with him before. But to be honest, he was flying down the straights, so I struggled, but thankfully my car had better top speed than his, so I was able to keep up. So the start of this session was actually a 5-minute practice, so the marshal would wave a flag, which means it's actually a qualifying. So overall it's actually a 10-minute qualifying session, but we do 5 minutes practice before. I'm not really too sure why we do practice. I don't know if it's to test the car or to warm up your tyres, but it's all good because it's extra race time. I was about to send it down the inside here, but it's not really a race, so I wasn't really trying to push him, bump him, so I backed off a lot on my laps. So as we're going here I go really wide, and unfortunately I lose him a bit here, but I think he uses his boost button and gets away, and that's why I catch up to him so quickly on the straight, which is personal preference. The boost button can be used on anywhere on the track, but preferably I like to use it on the straight. Some people like to use it down the ramp or going up this ramp, but here I managed to catch back up, so I didn't lose much time that lap. So in this session I actually set my fastest ever lap, and when I found out I was so shocked. Now since these drivers are so good, I don't actually need to worry about the flags because no one's gonna crash. It's a nice peaceful qualifying session, and the track was warming up very quickly, so I really enjoyed this session, and it was probably one of my best, if not the best. So as we've just come down the ramp, I actually get a decent exit, and I use my boost button here and I just send it because I feel like I have more speed than the driver ahead of me, so I absolutely just go for it, and let's see if I can actually put some good laps in, because now there's nobody in front of me and there's not going to be any flags or anything, so it's just me racing for 30 laps by myself. It's been around 20 laps and I'm actually pushing so hard. I don't realize it when I'm in the karts, but I'm going so fast and I'm getting low 23-second laps. I still have not got past that 23-second barrier yet. That's alright, because for now I have this driver ahead of me who I thought was actually gonna race me, but was actually really good. He decided to let me through down the back straight, which was really good, so I could focus on my lap time. Unfortunately I go a bit wide here because I followed his line and nearly hit the back of his car. I think I skimmed it, but I'm all good. But little do I know, this penultimate lap which I put in is absolutely crazy. I managed to get my fastest lap time, so as we're going down this straight, I turn in perfectly here and get a wonderful exit going down this straight. I keep to the right side and put my head down to reduce drag. As I'm going up this ramp, I don't go so close to it, I go a bit closer to the apex, and I hit it perfectly, and this lap is a 22.847, which is my record, and I absolutely smashed it by 0.2 of a second. I was so surprised, and that didn't even feel like a fast lap, and guess what, that was my final lap, and yes, that is the session over. And unfortunately that is not enough, we come second place. The driver ahead of me got a 22.834. I was very annoyed, but at the same time I was super pleased that the fact that I got a 22.874, which is my personal best. Anyways, let's go on to the race. Unfortunately everyone's car got changed, so I'm stuck with this car, and as I haven't driven it once, it's very cold, so I'm trying to warm it up by braking a lot, which generates heat into the tyres. Now it goes to green and it's underway. I send it down the inside and I managed to get the overtake done. He comes back on me on the ramp, but I managed to outbrake him and hold the turn. It's literally driving on ice and my car barely turned. Same with this corner, and I'm literally holding on for dear life. I go defensive here down this ramp and I try to keep my place, which I managed to. I use my boost button down the straight to give me extra speed, and I go defensive again to the inside, but unfortunately it's a red flag and the driver behind me slots his car perfectly behind mine. So now we're waiting for the green. It goes to green a few minutes later and I'm almost pushing my car with the straight, so I start bouncing on it, which creates a tiny bit of speed, and I've lost a lot of tyre temperature from that, which is very unfortunate, but I managed to hold on and the drivers behind me start to battle, so I'm able to get away. But now problems are starting to happen. I struggle to get power into the car, and as I'm going down this ramp, the driver who came third in qualifying managed to overtake me. I use my boost to try and keep up and I'm closing in, but he goes defensive, so I just have to hold on for another lap. As I'm going up this ramp, I stay to the right side and we're side by side. The driver in third is trying to get involved, but I have that inside line, so I'm able to hold on for the now. But if it couldn't get any worse, down this ramp, I again get overtaken by the same move, but this time on my inside. I go for the switchback and use my boost, and I manage to stay in front, but out of all the things I could have done, I spin, and I absolutely destroy my own race, and it calls out a red flag. Thankfully I'm okay and I didn't hurt myself and no one banged into me, but the driver ahead, even worse. The person he was battling literally went up the ramp when it was red, so he lost so much time from that. But that's not really my issue right now because I lost 4 places, so now I gotta try and gain them back because I need to recover this race. So as we're going down this ramp, I get a really good exit and I use my boost button and send it down the inside. I get the move done, I go a bit wide and he comes back on my outside, but I managed to outbrake him here and get the overtake done. Now it's on to the next car. Now as I've just come down the back straight, I can see him in the distance. I don't know if there's going to be enough time to catch him, but I'm trying as hard as I can. As I go through this corner, I use my boost button down the straight, but unfortunately it's yellow lights and something's happened. It's actually the end of the race, and unfortunately I don't have enough time and I can only secure a P4. I'm really annoyed, but at the same time it's a very good experience. I've never done a proper race like that before, with a proper qualifying session and a race. I was pushing really hard and I got my second fastest lap on the second run. I actually was very close to winning, but I didn't, and I made a silly mistake which I sinned of. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one because this was epic.